The thing that makes it special is when you're working with these kinds of people doing this kind of stuff. But, you know, this was as good as it gets. He doesn't yell. He doesn't post on Twitter. Sam Elliott just looks at you. And if you know what? That look means you know you're in trouble. They were all pretty tough. They were nice guys. I mean, they weren't. For over 50 years, Elliot has made his place in Hollywood that doesn't give in, doesn't beg, and definitely doesn't say sorry. He's played cowboys, bad guys, and ghosts, but the one thing he's never played is fake. And when he sees it in someone else, he doesn't stay quiet. Tombstone, The Big Lebowski, 1883. Elliot doesn't do computer effects. He does tough stuff, staying, quiet, slow anger that doesn't need explosions to feel powerful. And when you walk into a Western movie thinking it's just about boots and horses, he'll prove you wrong. Because Sam doesn't care about being famous. He cares about being real. And if yours doesn't feel true, he'll destroy it with one sentence. I've worked with a lot of really good people. If I hadn't been that guy that honestly, or truly or not, he's never gone after people for no reason. But when something goes too far, he says it. And once it's out, there's no taking it back. Here are the 6 actors Sam Elliott didn't just dislike. He straight up couldn't stand working with. Number 1, Benedict Cumberbatch. Sam Elliott didn't use nice words. When he saw the power of the dog, he didn't just roll his eyes or change the channel. He went on a podcast and totally destroyed it. That's what all these darn cowboys in that movie looked like, running around in leather pants with no shirts on. What the heck is that? He wasn't finished. He called the movie a piece of garbage and pointed out Benedict Cumberbatch's acting as totally fake. Too clean, too British, too much like acting. Cumberbatch didn't fight back directly, but movie critics did. Articles came flooding in, calling Elliot old-fashioned, angry, even mean. But Sam? He didn't move an inch because to him, it wasn't about personal feelings. It was about what's right. Elliot grew up on real Western movies. Gunsmoke, horses, dirt, pain. Not fancy art movies with silk scarves. And watching Cumberbatch try to act like that world with a tight jaw and curled lip made him mad. He later said, "That isn't the West." I grew up with the funny thing. Cumberbatch was picked for an Oscar. The movie got lots of praise, but Elliot didn't care. For him, there's a difference between acting and showing off. And when you cross that line, no amount of awards will save you. This wasn't a fight. It was saying no to a type of being tough that Elliot doesn't know and won't respect. Number 2. Bradley Cooper. Sam Elliott didn't call out Bradley Cooper by name, but he didn't have to. When A Star is Born came to movie theaters, critics praised Cooper's rough voice, quiet coolness, and serious presence. But anyone who knew Sam Elliott could tell exactly where that acting came from, and so could Sam. Cooper admitted he studied Elliott's way of talking. He copied the deep, slow voice, the walk, the quiet between words thing. Then, just to make it clear, he put Elliot in the movie as his older brother, basically admitting he was copying him on screen. But Elliot wasn't happy about it. In fact, when asked about it, he said, "I didn't even know he was copying me until we were halfway through filming." The way he said it wasn't admiration, it was annoyance. To Elliot, Cooper wasn't honoring him. He was copying something he didn't earn. Sam's voice isn't a tool. It's a scar, something that came from the life he lived, not a choice made in a voice teacher's class, and that's what hurt. The Star is Born remake became a big cultural moment. Cooper was picked for Best Actor. But Elliot's part, it was pushed aside, used to make the performance seem real, then forgotten when the spotlight hit. Off the record, crew members say Elliot kept things professional, but cold, distant, polite, but careful. Because to him, copying isn't a compliment. It's stealing. And the next time someone wants to borrow Sam Elliott's voice, they better come with something more than a microphone and a tan. Number 3. Sam Worthington. You won't find videos of Sam Elliott saying Sam Worthington's name, but if you read between the lines, it's all there. Elliott's made repeated attacks on what he calls computer-made cowboys, actors who put on boots, stare at a green screen, and pretend they've earned the dirt on their face. And no one fits that description more than Worthington during his Avatar time. He was Hollywood's next big thing. Action movies, war films, and even Western-style sci-fi. But to Elliot, it wasn't acting, it was posing. In one interview, Sam said, "A Western isn't about costumes and guns, it's about carrying the weight." And most of these new guys don't have it. No names, but the timing matched perfectly with Worthington's success. Rumor has it Elliot was offered a supporting role in a late 2000s movie, but said no, saying he had no interest in playing babysitter to green screen tough guys. Movie business insiders say the main character in that same project was, you guessed it, Worthington. Elliot believes in roles that leave scars. Men who've been broken, fixed, and still walk like they're ready to break something else. Worthington, by comparison, felt factory-made, all posing, no soul. And while Avatar made billions, Elliot never gave it any attention. He once said, "If I can't smell the dirt, I don't trust the story." To Sam, acting isn't pretending, it's remembering. And when someone shows up with no memory, just muscles and technology, they're not playing a cowboy, they're playing pretend. Number 4. Tom Cruise. Sam Elliott never attacked Tom Cruise directly, but listen closely and the insults are there. Elliott's always had a problem with actors who run fast, talk loud, and call it tough. He's mentioned it in interviews, making fun of action stars who treat every role like a mission and every stunt like showing off. Cruise built an empire, doing just that. In one interview, Elliot said, "Real toughness isn't about how fast you reload. It's about how long you can stand still." He didn't name Cruise. He didn't have to. Elliot's whole personality stands against everything Tom Cruise represents. Quiet, heavy, weathered. Cruise jumps out of planes. Elliot just stares and people move. Movie business rumors say Elliot was once suggested as a supporting actor in a late Mission Impossible sequel. His response, "Not my kind of job." There's also tension around The Last Samurai. God, Cruise was praised for showing discipline and honor. Things Elliot believes come from a lifetime, not a quick class. One source claimed Sam saw it as Hollywood dress-up. He's never disrespected Cruise's hard work. In fact, he's admitted it, but that's where the respect ends, because to Elliot, pain isn't choreography. And you don't earn quiet power by running through explosions. Cruise is adrenaline. Sam is what happens after. And that's why their paths never crossed on screen, and probably never will. Because to Elliot, the loudest guy in the room usually has the least to say. Number 5. Kevin Costner. On paper, Sam Elliott and Kevin Costner should be friends. They both built careers on Western movies. They both have that slow, careful presence. And they both look like they were born holding a gun. But look deeper, and you'll find a quiet tension, one that's been building for years. Elliot once described a certain wave of modern Westerns as too polished, too much like theater, like a stage play in boots. Around the same time, Costner was releasing Open Range and Hatfields and McCoys. Later came Yellowstone, where Costner became the poster boy for cowboy soap opera. Elliot never mentioned him by name, but the tone was clear. "If your hat looks like it's never seen rain, I don't believe it," he said. He respects legacy. He respects range. But he doesn't respect acting that feels posed. And while fans group Elliot and Costner together as old-school Western stars, the truth is they come from different rules. Elliot has always leaned into silence, toughness, and scars. Costner, on the other hand, leans into speeches, family drama, and big music. He's the Hollywood version of rough. Behind the scenes, movie business insiders claim Elliot passed on a big streaming project that Costner was running. Too shiny, he allegedly said. Whether it's personal or just artistic, the result is clear. They've never worked together. Not once. And at this point, they probably never will. Because for Sam, a cowboy isn't made by screen time or star status. It's made by what's left unsaid. And Costner, he talks too much. Number 6. Johnny Depp. Sam Elliott doesn't go looking for fights. But when someone disrespects the West, he sharpens every word like a knife. In 2013, Johnny Depp took on The Lone Ranger, a $250 million Disney giant meant to bring back the Western for a new generation. Big budget, big press, bigger ego. And for Elliot, it was exactly the kind of thing that killed everything the genre stood for. Depp wasn't even playing the Ranger. He was Tonto, covered in white face paint, eyes painted in black streaks, a dead bird balanced on his head like a joke that went on too long. He whispered lines, gave mysterious wisdom, moved like a ghost in an art school project. And Elliot, he saw all of it for what it was. They turned a Western into a costume party. He said he never named Depp. He didn't need to. The tone in his voice did all the work. To Elliot, the West isn't fashion. It's blood, it's pain, dirt, silence, and shame. And watching someone like Depp turn it into something stylized and weird was worse than bad acting. It was disrespect, even worse. The role of Tonto itself sparked anger from Native American communities. Accusing the film of wrong representation and cultural stealing, Elliot didn't spare.